AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Hey listeners, this is Peter, and welcome back to the History Shorts podcast. This humble show is brought to you by the Podcast Republic, your ultimate listening app. Discover and subscribe to thousands of podcasts from around the globe, yours truly included, and all in one place. Download Podcast Republic now, available on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Today on History Shorts, she turns toward us as if interrupted. Her lips are parted, her eyes soft yet searching. A glimmer of light rests on her pearl, and for centuries we've been asking the same question. Who was she? This is the story of Johannes Vermeer's Girl with a Pearl Earring, the silent masterpiece that continues to speak across time.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Johannes Vermeer was born in Delft in 1632, a small city in the Dutch Republic during one of the most prosperous and intellectually vibrant periods in European history, the Dutch Golden Age. This was a time when trade ships filled the harbors, when maps of the world expanded daily, and when middle-class patrons, not kings or churches, were commissioning art. Vermeer's Netherlands was a land of merchants, scientists, and craftsmen, a society fascinated by detail, order, and light. While artists in Rome and Paris painted grand biblical scenes and mythological dramas, Dutch painters turned their gaze inward, toward the quiet rhythms of daily life. Vermeer thrived in that intimacy. He painted no wars, no battles, no coronations, just the glow of sunlight on the wall, a woman reading a letter, milk poured from a jug. And then around 1665, he painted her. The painting, now known as The Girl with a Pearl Earring, is actually quite small, just under 18 inches tall, yet its impact feels monumental. Against a dark, undefined background, a young woman turns her head as if someone has just called her name. Her turban, blue with golden folds, glows with exotic richness, a hint of the faraway lands that fueled Dutch trade and imagination. Her lips are parted, her eyes glisten, and at her ear hangs that luminous drop of paint that isn't truly a pearl, but Vermeer's illusion of one. He captured light the way few ever have. A single brushstroke of white on the pearl reflects the unseen window to her left. Another stroke catches the curve of her lower lip. Every reflection tells us where the light falls, and yet nothing in the background tells us where she is. It's as if she exists in a space beyond time, a dream captured on canvas. So, who was she? For centuries, viewers have speculated. Was she Vermeer's daughter, or one of his household servants, or perhaps a model from the Delft? The truth may be that she was no one at all, at least not in the way that we think of someone's portrait. In Vermeer's day, Dutch painters often created what were called tronies, studies of faces, expressions, and costumes. These weren't portraits of particular people, but simply artistic explorations of light, texture, and human emotion. The Girl with the Pearl Earring may have been Vermeer's experiment in capturing the interplay between exotic dress and delicate expression. A character study, you might say, rather than a commission. But if she was meant to be anonymous, Vermeer failed spectacularly because, well, she feels quite alive. Real, seen. That's the genius of Vermeer. He made the universal feel personal. When scientists examined the painting with infrared and X-ray technology, they discovered that Vermeer had built it up in translucent layers, like glass stacked on glass. Under the surface lies a monochrome sketch, a guide for the light to come. Over that, he applied painstaking glazes of ultramarine blue, ochre, and lead tin yellow. His use of ultramarine, made from ground lapis lazuli imported from Afghanistan, was astonishingly expensive. Few artists in the world could afford to use it so freely, but Vermeer did. The blue in her turban, that deep, impossible color, speaks not only of beauty but of global trade and of wealth, of the Dutch Republic's reach across the oceans. Vermeer's technical mastery of light has led some historians to suggest that he used a camera obscura, an early optical device that projected images through a lens onto a surface. Whether or not that's true, it's clear that Vermeer saw the world with a precision that few others did. His brushwork was minimal, almost invisible. He wasn't really painting a girl, he was painting how we see a girl. Delft in Vermeer's time was prosperous, pious, and proud, a city of merchants and craftsmen, canals and courtyards. Its people lived in orderly houses and prized moral virtue, hard work, and modest beauty. Art reflected those values. Instead of heroic knights or mythic gods, Dutch paintings depicted the familiar: women at work, letters being read, music being played, and sunlight through windows. But Vermeer elevated those everyday scenes into something transcendent. He took ordinary life and then turned it into, well, kind of like poetry. Unlike Rubens or Rembrandt, Vermeer painted slowly, just 2 or 3 works a year. He sold very few paintings and left his family, well, in debt. His art wasn't about fame or fortune. It was about his vision. And the girl with a pearl earring, that single image of youth, light, and mystery, may have been his purest expression of it all. When Vermeer died in 1675, aged just 43, his name faded quickly from memory. His modest output and local clientele meant a few of his works left the city in which he worked. For nearly 2 centuries, Girl with a Pearl Earring sat quietly in private collections, largely unremarked. Then in 1881, it resurfaced at an auction. Purchased for a few guilders, it eventually found its way to the Mauritshuis Museum, where it still hangs today. As art historians rediscovered Vermeer's genius in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the girl became the centerpiece of his revival. The Mona Lisa of the North, some people called it. Visitors stood mesmerized not by the showiness, but by the stillness, by silence, by that impossible connection between viewer and the subject, as if for a moment she was real. At first glance, the painting seems simple, but Vermeer's choices are anything but. The turban hints at the Dutch fascination with the exotic, a world connected by trade routes stretching from Asia to the Americas. The pearl reflects wealth and purity, a symbol of status and virtue. Yet in Vermeer's hand, it also becomes an abstract study in light. 2 brushstrokes that create an illusion of depth and reflection. And then the girl's gaze. That is where the real mystery lies. Her lips are parted, as if about to speak, but she never will, obviously. Her eyes meet ours with a mixture of confidence and vulnerability. It's a moment caught between approach and retreat, between intimacy and distance. It feels personal, but also universal. She could be anyone from any time. In 1999, novelist Tracy Chevalier imagined her story in Girl with a Pearl Earring, weaving a tale of an artist's muse and the unspoken tensions between class, beauty, and creativity. 4 years later, the 2003 film adaptation starring Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth brought Vermeer's world to new audiences, rekindling fascination with Delft, 17th century art, and the exclusive girl whose gaze no one can forget. Today, reproductions of the Girl with a Pearl Earring hang in homes, schools, and coffee shops around the globe. She's been reinterpreted in fashion, photography, memes, and even emojis. Her face is as recognizable as the Mona Lisa's, her meaning as open to interpretation. But amid all the pop culture and modern adoration, the mystery remains intact. So, who was she really? Art historians have proposed countless theories about her identity. One of Vermeer's daughters, a neighbor's servant, an anonymous model chosen for her expression. But there is no proof, no record, no signature note, not even a mention in Vermeer's lifetime. And perhaps that's exactly why she endures. She's not a person, she's an idea, a meditation on beauty, on perception, on the moment between seeing and being seen. She's the embodiment of Vermeer's obsession, not with narrative, but with presence. More than 350 years after its creation, Girl with a Pearl Earring continues to defy explanation. Its simplicity invites endless contemplation. Its silence demands our attention. Standing before it, we don't just see a painting, we experience a conversation across centuries. In that single moment of eye contact, Vermeer reminds us that art's power lies not in what it shows, but in what it suggests. Light, color, gaze, mystery, all held forever in a turn of a head. Hopefully, today's episode has inspired you to seek out and learn more about the subject. For answers to questions, sources for today's episode, to leave a comment, or check out upcoming guest announcements, visit www.historyshortspodcast.com or look for History Shorts Podcast on Facebook, Patreon, and X. Stay curious, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.